Thanks, Rick. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Eastern Commissioner Helsher will be here late. He had an appointment, so
He said he's headed this way.
he's headed this way, but he said we should proceed because, okay, so do you have any minutes and reports received and filed?
Yes, I have the collector's August 2022 fees.
Okay. Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports, upcoming meetings.
Wednesday, Transportation Committee meeting, Heartland Port Working Group meeting, a Columbia Regional Airport tour. Thursday, I have on my calendar Hemp Day, but I'm not sure what, is that
That's
something
over
with
at Lincoln, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's with Lincoln U, I want to say.
Friday is Safety Committee meeting. That's my calendar.
Okay, well, I got a lot of the same ones as you. Wednesday, I do have a Legends Bank meeting. Thursday, I go see Dr. Shell and get released on my wrist. And then I'm presenting something to the NROTC at MU in the afternoon. Friday, besides, is a Cap Region Community Outreach meeting. Saturday is the Old Munichburg Oktoberfest and also the Sons of Union Veterans. Monday, Eric and Nick and I are meeting with some MU graduate students who are doing research on flooding. So we know a lot about flooding, so that is all I've got. Bids and contracts, renewal 1 of 2021-27 uniform and mat services with Aramark.
This will be the first renewal of 2021-27 with Airmark Uniform Services, who provides the uniforms for Public Works. They have agreed to keep their pricing the same as they did last year when they bid it out. I've discussed it with Eric, and he's okay with renewing their services for another year. So we are recommending to renew this contract with Airmark Uniform Services, and I do have a contract to sign.
Okay.
Make a motion to sign the contract renewal with Aramark
Yes.
Aramark Uniform Services.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, bid award and contract signing of 2022-24 prisoner transportation services.
We bid out the prisoner transfer services for the Sheriff's Department. We had one vendor submit a response, which was U.S. Corrections. The Sheriff's Department is okay with their pricing per their bid tab, and our recommendation is to award 2022-24 to U.S. Corrections. And I do have a contract to sign.
Okay.
Morning.
Morning. That's fine. You didn't speed, did you?
No,
Okay.
don't do that.
We are on the,
Go ahead and lift it up.
okay,
I'll catch up.
okay.
Do you have
I do have a
paperwork?
contract. And the Sheriff's Department was okay.
I'll make a motion to sign, accept the prisoner transport service contract bid number 2022-24 with
U.S. Corrections.
U.S. Corrections.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval and signing of environmental childcare sanitation inspections agreement.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the same agreement that you guys signed a few weeks ago, so none of the reimbursement rates have changed, but apparently there were some exhibits left out of the contract that they sent us the first time, and then they changed the table on the front with signatures, so I couldn't use that one. So I have to have you sign it again. I apologize.
Hey, it is what it is.
So it's just an amended contract.
Yes.
Make a
Didn't change any
motion
of the rates.
to sign the amended environmental childcare sanitation inspection participation agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of partnership with Impact Life.
So we'll probably actually end up tabling this for a couple weeks, but I'll just give you a brief overview of what this is. So early on in my arrival, one of my goals was to establish a pre-hospital blood transfusion program with EMS so that we would have blood products to administer to critically ill trauma patients. Obviously, there's a lot of hoops to move through when you're talking about blood products and some of the regulations behind that. So it took us a while to find a partner. So Impact Life is a independent, not-for-profit blood bank operating in the Missouri area. They've tentatively entered into an agreement with us to supply us blood products to get this program off the ground. I was hoping to have a contract today, but they haven't produced that yet. So hopefully we'll have that in 2 weeks from now to get that signed up. Rough estimates, probably about $300 per unit of blood and plasma. We anticipate that being maybe one a month, so not a great deal of expense on our part. When it boils down to it, we'll probably be one of the 3 ground services in the state of Missouri, and I would say that it is just as rare across the country to have that treatment available.
What's the life of your inventory when you have that?
Yeah, so it'll be 30 days. We anticipate that we'll probably be able to use it fairly regularly and not have a lot of outdate. Just like other medications that we have, they expire within a certain time, and if they expire without use, we do eat that cost. So there will be associated, but we don't anticipate, a lot of waste out of this.
Do they have contracts with any other blood folks in the neighborhood?
So they're a blood bank, so they supply blood products. I know they supply blood products to Capital Region.
Okay.
That's where their actual blood supply comes from. So they're just going to directly deal with us.
I was just curious if you get to, expires by.
Right.
Can you trade it for a fresh one? Or, no, I shouldn't say fresh one, but they use it daily probably
Correct.
in the hospital.
Yep. So chain of custody kind of comes into play with blood products like that. If we had a little bit different agreement, obviously we would try and find a suitable user for that. But with the agreement that we have, those products would just expire out.
Okay.
That's charged with blood. I hate. No. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we get a contract, hopefully when I get back from vacation, I'll bring that up here for you guys to sign.
Okay. We'll table it for 2 weeks.
Yep,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Okay. Presentation and approval of Stryker capital equipment lease. Oh,
Take over.
Morning. So
oh. Yeah, I might have. Well, we'll still go
Okay.
ahead with, yeah.
So 3 weeks ago now, we had a presentation from Stryker requesting to move forward with a sole source ad. That ad has ran. We did not receive any opposition to it regarding our capital lease program. Today, we're going to make a presentation and ask that you approve entering into the agreement. One little clerical issue that we have to overcome, pricing was continued to be updating until this morning, so we do not have a contract that reflects the actual pricing. However, we did have terms and conditions that were reviewed by Jill. It is in writing that whatever contract is produced will not have any different terms or conditions. It's just going to reflect the updated pricing. So we'll ask you to approve the purchase today, and then next week Jill or Jessica will present the contract for just signatures if we so go that way.
And the savings is $500,000
Yeah.
to $1,000, so.
So I'll let
Yeah.
Chris
Okay.
and Christina walk you
Okay.
through it here.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today. We put together a small presentation kind of highlighting some of the pricing changes. The good news is the pricing differences that the chief indicated are to the positive, to the county. We presented a few weeks ago, this is all the equipment that you would be getting through this program. And for all that life-saving and injury-reducing equipment, what we had originally presented a few weeks ago was roughly $346,000 a year over 10 years. As I explained back then, this is still a really new project or program for Stryker, and we're still learning some things along the way, one of which is the property tax implications for counties like Cole. And what we discovered after our presentation a few weeks ago is that there would roughly, in addition to that 346, would be an additional $186,000 in property taxes that you would be responsible for over the 10 years. Well, once we discovered that, we immediately got with our leadership team and with the lenders and made some concessions on both sides, and immediately took that $346,000 down to $334,000 a year over the course of 10 years. So now, if you look at kind of that factored in, I added the $186,000 in property taxes to this slide. So roughly, your payments would be $353, $110 per year. But my understanding is essentially that property tax would, most of it anyway, would come back to the county. So although it's an initial outlay, I believe a majority of that would come back to the county.
Well, it comes back to various political subdivisions in the county, and the school districts are about 85% of it. But it is in the county school districts, the county fire districts, the county itself.
Yeah.
City gets some. Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
apologize on our behalf for not having this in the presentation a few weeks ago. Like I said, we're still kind of learning as we go. But again, and Jeff, I added this per your request last time. Our best estimate is to purchase all of this equipment upfront over the course of 10 years would be roughly $4.2 million. So we're looking at $4.2 million versus the $3.5 million. And if we want some additional explanation of that, I added that, and we can certainly provide this for you as well. I put a couple slides in here, and it's probably too much information, but what I wanted you to see is kind of the challenges that manufacturers like Stryker are experiencing right now. Usually, pre-COVID, when we would look at price increases from one year to the next, we would factor about 1.5%, right? Well, now, post-COVID, since supply chain and labor costs are all through the roof, in Q2 of this year, what Stryker's leadership was looking at was a 4.9% increase, which would be roughly $625 million that we have to make up for next year. Well, that was in Q2. By Q3, that number became $750 million. So this is still a very, it's a moving target for us. And the reason I highlight this is because I think it shows now more than ever is a great time for a county like Cole to come into an agreement like this. This information is Stryker as a whole. This is Stryker Emergency Care. Our costs right now are 24% higher today than they were at the same time last year, and that includes the 7% price increase we had in February. So what all that means is we're gonna have a lot of price increases coming up within the next couple of years. And so factoring those price increases, this is kind of my best guess to say, hey, this is what this equipment would cost for you to purchase it over the next couple of years. And roughly, if you look at on the right, if you include the increase, because this also includes next generation equipment, our best guess is you would be saving at least $720,000 over the next 10 years by entering into this program as opposed to purchasing it. Now, the argument at the end, you don't own anything, but within the contract, we have a not to exceed clause, which means at the end of the contract, if you want to purchase the equipment, you can purchase it for an additional $237,000. So roughly, you're saving $720,000. If you want to own the equipment at the end, it's going to cost you an additional $237,000. You're still saving over $500,000.
That was the only question I had with that last line, meant so that purchase equipment at year 10, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric sent that, our chief voice sent that to us last night, so that was nice to be able to go through.
I spent a couple weeks trying to figure out what our risks are. And the risk to us as an organization, as an county, is 5 years if some other company comes out with the latest, greatest technology, we're in a 10-year deal. Now, I've been playing this game for almost 20 years now, and Stryker has been the leader in the industry, so I don't see that happening. The risk of not doing this is that, you know, we're estimating $720,000 to, you know, $907,000 in increased expenses. But who knows what the world will do between now and then. I think that's probably a fairly conservative estimate. So our risk by not acting is potentially costing the county upwards of seven figures. I want to touch on the personal property tax piece a little bit. We worked with Jill and Commissioner Otto a little bit to kind of figure out how the tax exemption would apply to us. There is no statute in the state of Missouri that passes a tax exemption of personal property tax from a county agency onto a lender. It would if we purchased, and we did play that out as well. If we were to purchase and write that into the contract, it would roughly be another $500,000. So we'd be spending $500,000 to save $186,000, and that doesn't seem like doing a whole lot of the math. So while I understand that the tax piece is not ideal, we're still saving money in the long term. One other thing that I'd like to just point out for consideration is that this is a 2023 budget request. We are asking to sign the contract prior to October 1 to save a 9% price increase. However, we would not initiate and take delivery or make payment to this contract until 2023. I have built this into my 23 budget, and it is balanced. Mark, do you have any thoughts, feedback? Not putting you on the spot.
Your budget is balanced at this point, so.
Any other thoughts, questions we can answer?
No, you're answering my question about the property tax, so.
I'm good.
Okay. So then I think what we'd ask is approval of the purchase. Do you have the total amount?
It was on this slide here. The $3,531,104 over the course of 10 years, or $353,110 per year.
So we'd ask for approval of that today. We'll get the updated contract documents, and then since I will be on vacation next week, Jessica or Jill will present those for final signing.
I'm good.
Let me see if I have the correct numbers. 3,531, 100?
104, yeah.
104. Okay. I'll make a motion to go through with the purchase of the Stryker, or the lease of the Stryker equipment at a 10-year cost of $3,531,104.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for bringing that additional
Yep.
information.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I overlooked Darren's, so we'll go back to signing of the Arbitrator contract with Turnkey Mobile, Inc.
Yes, so a couple of weeks ago, you guys approved the purchase of new body cameras, the Panasonic body cameras. So we have a contract. I've just asked that you guys would sign the contract, reference that purchase. So Jill has reviewed it.
This is ARPA money?
No,
No.
no.
No, it's not.
This
You're
is
right.
yearly, or-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll offer a motion to execute the contract, Cole County Sheriff's Office Arbitrator body worn cameras, cloud storage, and connection of in-car video to cloud with Turnkey Mobile, Inc.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Unfinished business. We left the discussion of assessors 2022-2023 maintenance plan revised on the agenda. I think we invited the assessor to join us, and he won't. So anyway, I think Commissioner Otto has some issues or some things he would like to present.
Well, I just wanted to mention that we have sent the commissioner's version of the narrative or rebuttal, what do we want to call it, to the State Tax Commission. They meet today at 1:30 p.m. for a regular meeting, and Cole County is on their agenda for today. If if Assessor Estes would show up, I would ask him about a statement in his narrative that says there will be 10,000 letters sent to, my calculation is approximately 17,000 parcel owners. He's indicated he will review half the parcels for 2023, half for 2025. My question would be, will there be another 10,000 letters to the parcel holders 2 years later? So in other words, after over a 2-cycle period, 20,000 parcel owners out of 35,000 approximately will receive a letter of indicating an increasement in their assessment. Then also note that we were advised by the State Tax Commission, received a letter that actually the State Tax Commission had sent to Assessor Estes on August the 12th. We received it last Thursday that says the traditional sales study report for 2021, the results are not within the acceptable parameters. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, since the assessor is not here, then we will leave it at that. We will go on with new business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Did I have one on there?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
I second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
I knew you were abstaining. You.
No, Harry held up for a minute there since I had one there.
I get to look at it,
Yeah.
Commissioner.
That's upon approval.
Okay. Okay, second and final reading of budget adjustment number 12.
This is for $11,410. This is the health department, and it has to do with the WIC program. I'd ask for approval so we can amend the budget.
Make a motion to approve court order number 12 for $11,410.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recorder to discuss purchase of new server.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, as you know, we bid out our software and we are going with iCounty. And initially, we anticipated going live in '23. So we included all of the hardware costs and a new server in our '23 budget. However, in working with iCounty, they're able to let us go live November 1st. And in doing that, I was able to work with CIC, our current software vendor, and negotiate our yearly maintenance agreement. So we were able to save just over $11,000 in going live November 1st. And with iCounty, instead of paying $22,000 for our maintenance agreement with them, it was $2,000. So we did have some savings. But what we're doing here today is we need to see if we can get all of our hardware, which is our server and our server array, this year instead of in '23 to make all this happen for us. So that's what we need your help with. Brian's here to help me out. He's giving you a test on the SLAM method too.
So we went through and identified the additional items that were going to be needed for the new system, hardware items. And we needed purchase of some scanners, printers, additional server, additional storage array, and monitors. And by my calculation, I came up with about $30,896.62 with all of that added together. And I had rolled that into my budget for 2023, but since we haven't had those discussions yet or anything, I told Judy, especially with the timing of it and things like that, that we would bring it before the commission just to see what your thoughts were on it. Because I think these items are needed in order to be able for her to go live in November, which is only about 5 weeks away or so.
This is out of capital purchases, and I did check with the auditor, and he's okay as far as money-wise, in case that matters.
We were going to do this for 2023 anyway, right?
Correct.
We're just speeding up the
Process,
the
yes.
process by several months.
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually, that you're gonna be able to do this in November. of
I'm a
this year.
worker.
Yeah.
I did pay for the software out of the recorder's fund, which was $110,000, so yes. And I've tried to save money wherever I could. We did negotiate the contract with CIC, and I think they really worked well with us. That was amazing.
I don't see a downside or a risk for doing it a couple months early. Am I missing anything?
I mean, like I said, these purchases were gonna be discussed in the 2023 budget anyway, so.
So you have it in your 2023 budget
Right.
already, even though we haven't approved it.
That's right.
Does the auditor have any heartburn?
There's plenty of money in our capital improvement budget for this year still, so.
Okay.
You can take it out of your 23 budget now.
I don't like leaving it in there. I'll be happy to take it out.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, so do we have anything to sign today or just approve the
I think
moving
just the
forward?
approval. Do they need to sign it?
No, this is all off of state contract purchasing.
Okay.
All right.
I just need approval to proceed.
Motion, do you need a motion for that?
Probably.
I'll make a motion to proceed and escalate the time and purchase of the necessary equipment to implement the iCounty software.
Thank you.
Second.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Is it-
Just
Okay,
get the hardware for that software.
The hardware for that software. Okay.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carla Malone Steck to discuss audits. And so if you can keep it, you know,
You betcha.
okay.
Probably 3 minutes. You excited to see me today? Okay, so I want to thank Jeff for respecting our First Amendment right, allowing me to speak here today, and allowing a newly elected official to speak last month when that right was threatened. I've been coming down here for about 20 years, and this is the first time I've been interviewed prior to speaking and then denied the right to speak last month. Subjects that are controversial should not be ignored. An audit has been requested since March. Seeking the advice of a judge active in the same office is asking the fox to guard the henhouse. Trying to limit requests for audits to elected officials only is disrespectful to your citizens. We do not need an attorney to read this statute. It's very clear. Statute 50.057. Audit when by whom? Certain counties of the first classification. The accounts of any county of the first class not having a charter form of government, or the accounts of any officer or office of such county may be audited at any time, if the county commission determines such an audit desirable or necessary, either by a certified public accountant employed by the county commission or by the state auditor, as the county commission may determine. We're a first-class county, not having a charter form of government, therefore it is the commissioner's responsibility to call for audits. The decision whether or not an audit is desirable or necessary is the jurisdiction of the Cole County Commission. My personal interest is in an audit of our votes. The county clerk's office is in charge of counting our vote, but this requires a different type of audit, a forensic audit with a cybersecurity specialist. Concerned citizens were denied the opportunity to discuss this issue, but I thank Commissioner Hulsher once again for allowing us to speak. I requested in May the records be held longer than the federal law of 22 months from the 2020 election. This request has been ignored and the right to discuss this serious issue was denied. An issue serious enough that the Secretary of State sent a letter to all Missouri clerks to hold those records after the 22-month requirement. Avoiding these topics can look like complicity. Requests for new voting machines, close to $100,000 has been placed in a priority position for ARPA funds by the commissioners. I don't understand the logic. What will be different about these new machines and their software's ability to count votes? The primary role of government is to secure the inalienable rights of the people. I have a right to know my vote counted. If government officials understand their vital role as stewards and protectors of God-given rights, they will govern with humility and restraint. How my tax dollars are appropriated is nothing to keep hidden. Can you fill me in on your logic to buy new machines when you've been presented evidence of software doing more than counting? And you don't have to answer today unless you want to.
Well, the machines weren't just about counting. I think it was for the size of them, carrying them around. I mean, Steve went through the presentation on them, so. The other
Poll
stuff
pads.
about the vote counting is, I think, a different issue. Because you have some kind of program in there either which way, whatever kind of equipment. We were just talking about the equipment.
Hardware.
Or is it,
The machine, you put your ballot in, the actual voting machine, not the poll pads. Well, it's all of it, but
The software would come with that, right?
yes.
Carla, the first time you spoke to me about this, as I recall, I'm trying to get this accurate, you called and asked me if I ever heard of Maricopa County. And I said, yes, Phoenix, Arizona. And you said, I think, they had Dominion voting machines. Okay. And you said, Cole has them. Cole doesn't have them.
Cole has Unison.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, you know, the hubbub after the 2020 election was Dominion. So,
There's a lot about Dominion, yes.
okay, we don't have
We
Dominion.
have Unison
That's right,
and Knowing.
okay? So, well, I didn't see why you were asking questions about Cole based upon another county with another machine.
So Dominion is the large situation that's going on. However, Unison, Knowing, they've all been analyzed, and it's been discovered that there are anomalies with the counting. So it's a serious thing, not just Maricopa County.
So do you feel that the vote count in Cole was inaccurate because of its voting machines in 2020?
I think that there's enough research currently to think that any machine, if it's not given an audit, a forensic audit, that there is suspicious activity within the software. So not just 2020, I think it goes back further. It's just that we all got interested when 2020 happened. So it goes back quite a ways. And so we've just been doing the research. So anyway, something to think about and consider. And thanks again, Jeff, for allowing me to speak.
sure.
Okay, approval of purchase of 1-ton Chevrolet pickup for Public Works.
So we've talked on numerous occasions about the difficulty of getting equipment, pickup trucks, dump trucks, you name it. It's been very challenging. Came across a situation, a possibility to get a 1-ton pickup. I was out of town Friday and Monday. Matt kind of ran with this, so I'll turn it over to him and he can explain what we're looking at and how we would approach doing it.
So Tyler and I have been discussing with some of the local dealers on the state contract, and we are trying to get some vehicles purchased. Dodge is no longer accepting orders. Chevrolet is no longer accepting orders. Ford, We started out back in September. They were gonna accept orders. They have now pushed us back to November. But in talking with a dealership in St. Louis, they have a 1-ton crew cab, four-wheel drive, white pickup for sale on their lot. It meets our budget requirements and meets everything that we need as far as a pickup goes. In going through the process, we did actually submit out a bid request from 4 dealerships through the state contract. It's a price quote request. We were informed that MoDOT is actually using this moving forward through the state contract. And with that, we put a request out to Dodge. They are no longer accepting orders, nor are they in business for the state contract. Joe Mockins submitted a price of $49,145, and Don Brown Chevrolet submitted a price of $47,528. Joe Mockins Ford does not have an idea of when they'll be able to deliver, but Don Brown can have it to us in 5 days with your all's approval. So we're asking that you allow us to purchase this truck from Don Brown Chevrolet in St. Louis.
This is all on the 22 budget, right?
Yes.
You're already talking about getting it.
Yes.
And with the other quote, you have no clue when or if you could get it in 2022 even.
Correct. We don't even know. This truck is actually on their lot. They're gracious enough to hold it for us until pending today's outcome. But with that being said, if you all do approve this purchase, we could have it delivered within the next week.
I'm fine with
Yeah, and it's in your budget, so, okay, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with it as well. I'm more curious about what he can do next year.
We have 2, Ford, they pushed back their date to order to November. We were wanting to order 3 Fords. We're getting the Chevrolet now. 2 Fords we still plan to order, but again, it was supposed to be September, they pushed it to November, and now
Okay.
it's like, who knows, and then who knows how long it's gonna take to get them. So this is a right here and now, and it's a good decision to make right now to get this truck.
We still have a truck we ordered last year that we haven't gotten.
Yes.
Over a year ago.
And Matt, do you want to explain a little bit on the MoDOT, kind of where they're going because of the issues with getting vehicles on state contract? There's a process that they've implemented that we utilized.
So in the state contract for vehicles, typically we could just call a dealership up, order them, they'd send it to us as state contract. Within that contract, there are a couple attachments, and one is, it's attachment 5A, which is the motor vehicle price quote request form. And essentially, we attach our specifications to it, send it out to the dealers that are listed in the state contract, leave it open for a certain time frame. They will send it back, and they will provide whether it's a fleet vehicle or off the lot. And then they provide the quote with it and then a delivery time frame to go with it. MoDOT is actually starting to do this, and I think moving forward, with the way the vehicle economy is right now, this may be the way we have to do it. And it actually allows us to purchase off lot if a dealership has a vehicle on the lot ready for sale through the state contract. So.
I'm good.
What say you, Eastern District Commissioner?
No, I'm fine with
Good.
it too. You gotta do what you gotta do to get the vehicles. But I'm fine with approving the purchase of the 1-ton truck today. I don't see how it hurt. I mean, I know you'd probably like to have all the same vehicles in the fleet, but different times.
Like I said, it does meet all of our specifications. Tyler and I looked at it. It is under what we were kind of budgeting for one vehicle. It is a 1-ton versus the 3/4 that we were looking at, but it does meet everything else that we're needing on the vehicles, so.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 1-ton Chevy truck.
From Don Brown.
from Don Brown.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of things that have come up too. Our IT director, Brian Ridenour, would like to attend a cyber security symposium online with the National Emergency Training Center, which is Emmitsburg. And so we need to give our endorsement for him to take this class.
I'll make the motion to endorse IT Director Brian Ridenour's attending the cybersecurity class online.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then one other thing, I met with Calabite yesterday, and they are applying for Missouri Broadband Infrastructure Grant programs, and this would be to expand from Wardsville into Taos. And they have to have a letter of support next week. So I would like to get that signed and get it to Rob Barnes.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'll make a motion to sign a letter to Director of Broadband Development at Missouri Department of Economic Development with respect to Calabite Technology LLC grant program to expand fiber optics broadband services in portions of Cole County.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They make it to your house yet, Debbie?
Well, you got Como that's.
You need to give them a call.
Is
Through the town, if you want it out to be, you have to pay for it.
is that Como that's expanding there?
They already have, so the schools don't.
Yeah.
But just through the town. I do have old business that Brian has with Hoover, the signing of that Hoover contract that you guys approved last week, if that's possible.
Yeah, so this is the signing and approval of the addendum to the managed services agreement that we previously talked about in closed session for IT security. So I just need that signed. Jill has reviewed it.
What's the price tag on this?
So for the rest of this year, it's $16,020 for the last 3 months of this year. And then from that point on, I don't think that we have the 2023 and the 2024 number, but roughly 248, something like that annually. 248,000 annually. Yeah, we're already paying a certain amount for it, so this is around a $5,000 or $6,000 a month add-on.
That's okay. That's the number I was
Yes.
trying to track to. That's why it's 16 for the rest of the year,
That's right.
and about 50, 72 a year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are very naive if we think that, oh, Cole County won't be attacked. So,
Well, I sent out some previous documentation, but I think I've sent it to you guys, but, you know, your average cost of a cybersecurity attack, so you can only have the initial ransomware where you may or may not get your data back, somewhere around the tune of $300,000 to $400,000. But they're seeing like numbers around $750,000 too. And so this is all in an effort to give us the best chance we can to forward an attack, to mitigate an attack, and then also, should we be attacked, be able to recover from that attack. And so we went through it, and I kind of documented some of the things about that the service provides. And I think one of the key things is the off-site recovery facility. So should we have a catastrophic event happen, you know, like a tornado or something like that, our data doesn't reside here, it resides, you know, in a secure location And from that secured location, we can spin up the county servers and things like that. And that would go along with business continuity and continuity of services. So I don't know that anybody could, so like, if the ask would be along the lines of provide me another building at another location with all these other servers, and basically, create a duplicate of our environment, the cost would far exceed what that number is, even though that number is expensive. So I would ask that we get this program implemented. We've already done quite a bit of it in the way of the monitoring and things like that. So the backup add-on is just basically, kind of closing the loop on what we need to get done. So, but it is an expensive program. It is an expensive program, I think.
The
But
last few years, it's expensive insurance and everything else.
yeah, so
This world has changed.
yeah, so I'd love living 7 years ago for some things, right? But the truth of the matter is it's like anything else. This technology evolves, and it's created a multi-million to billion-dollar business just in attacking companies and holding them for ransom. So, when you think about the amount of personnel it would take to employ, to have somebody watching, like all these different services that are going on, it would add quite a bit of staffing to what we already have. And so you can go two directions. You can really hire, more people to monitor all these different activities and all these different technologies that we have to have in play today, and create these extra facilities, or you can hire that service done. So Huber's been a trusted partner of Cole County for several years, and like I said, they currently do our monitoring system now, and among many other things. So I don't know that I could ever. I think that with what we're getting with the program far exceeds what we're going to spend upon getting it.
Well, I think when Camden County was attacked, it even took their phone system down.
Right.
And I know Capital Region, it took their phone systems down too. So it's, it is kind of catastrophic when something like that happens, so.
I'm in favor of doing it. What I don't want to happen is for our folks to say, oh, now we're safe. I can blow off all these little micro quizzes that I'm getting, and I don't have to do that, but we do.
So the old saying is you're only as good as your weakest link.
Right.
So, we've got all these defenses in place, but there's no defense against a person who clicks on something they're not supposed to, and it actually gets through. So I would ask that the elected officials of Cole County and the department directors take our managed security training very seriously, and that they get their employees to participate 100%, and that the elected officials participate 100%, and the directors participate in 100%. And with that is our best strategy going forward, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to prevent, an attack.
And the commissioners are doing this, so,
Commissioners are
yes,
doing
everybody
Pretty
needs
much
to
like-
follow our lead.
I was a little disappointed, Brian. I was in first place among the commissioners, and I've dropped to third. I'm still above the average for the whole county, but what happened? Did they get tutors or something to get them through
I
that?
absolutely do provide tutoring services
Yes.
as part of my.
Oh, now I understand.
Yeah.
Coaching services.
Coaching services and things. I'm there to encourage and educate. So
I will admit, I haven't taken all my micro training yet, so I can up it when I need to. I just got, I didn't know they kicked you backwards though if you hadn't done anything for a while. I was kind of disappointed in that, but I agree. We've had a lot of meetings in here about it, and it's so interesting. So if everybody would do this, I'll get this speech every week from Brian. So, yeah, I think we do need to take it serious. And, I mean, I don't know if somebody hits on something they shouldn't, and they've not been doing these micro trainings, I mean, I think that would be terms for termination possibly, so.
Sheila, does the when the folks agree to come to work here, do they, in the policy manual, do they agree to abide by the IT rules? Or the?
Yes, there is a policy in our handbook that pertains to acceptable use of our equipment, software, internet access, and those things. So part of this training should be included in our policy manual when we do the update in December.
Just give them a quick message or test to see if they know it's slammed.
Seems like the health department was probably one of the highest, so,
It's getting a little competitive.
yeah. We do ice cream every month or something like that. But anyway, it was interesting to get the scores and everything, so. And I think the health department's at the top, so.
High caliber, all of them pretty high caliber people.
Well, I don't know, a month ago, I couldn't have sat there and preached to anybody about doing it because I was the lowest by far, maybe lower than everybody. So it just, little time every day, sit down and do it. You do learn quite a bit of stuff that, I mean, even when you leave here, it's gonna help you. So there's some
Yeah.
scams out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very educational. And again, that's another part of our managed security program that we've got going with Huber right now, so.
So you need approval of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
What exactly is this? And Brian, how you want me to, the managed service agreement
Yeah,
addendum?
So what I would say is signing of the Huber Advantage Agreement Addendum previously agreed to in closed session.
And the amount was the $16,020
Yeah.
for the remainder of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get all that, Dawn? That's how I would form my motion then. That work, or you want
I can get more later.
to approve the managed service agreement addendum contract for $16,000.20 properly discussed in closed session?
Second.
Yes.
That's a move, that's a
That's
motion.
the motion,
Okay.
correct, yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Did I restate that correctly, Brian?
You're fine.
Okay. I think we are done. Jeff, do you?
No?
Okay.
We have time to make our 10:30 meeting.
I know.
So we did well.
Yes.
You gentlemen are headed to the
Yes.
GOB?
Yes, to the Governor Office Building.
Gob. Gobi.
All right.
All right, make a motion to sit in recess until 4:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.